up, guys? So whenever I talk about the data on migrants, I always get comments like these, suggesting that I'm going to get raped by Syrian refugees or whatever. Conservatives are kind of known for thinking that immigrants equals crime, like Donald Trump saying that most Mexicans are bringing drugs and rapists and that all Muslims should be banned. But whilst it's true, immigrants do commit crimes, when people tell anecdotes of like these crazy terrorists from Syria or like such and such rapists from Mexico, you're ignoring one simple fact. A simple fact supported by dozens of studies over hundreds of years. And that fact is, no matter how you cut the data, immigrants commit way less crime than US citizens. So whenever a crime is committed by a foreigner, like the murder of Kate Steinle by illegal immigrant Juan Francisco Lopez-Sanchez, you see headlines like this, demanding that we need to get tough on immigration. And it makes my freaking blood boil, because this thinking that foreigners are a source of crime is absolutely not true. If you actually take a look at the data, US citizens are far more dangerous than immigrants, even more dangerous than illegal immigrants. Truckloads of scientific studies, links in the description, have shown that immigrants are far less likely to commit crimes or be behind bars compared to native-born Americans. This holds true for both legal immigrants and undocumented immigrants, regardless of their nationality. Even if you focus just on Mexican immigrants, a group Donald Trump famously associated with crime, their crime rate is still way less than a US citizen. In fact, adding immigrants to a community may actually cause them to become safer. A paper looking at Californian cities with large inflows of recent immigrants found that cities with high immigrant populations have tended to have lower rates of violent crime. Even the ScIQ Communities program, an FBI group specifically trying to reduce immigrant crime, found that targeting immigrants doesn't work, because the population of immigrants is negatively correlated with crime rates. Now, you might be skeptical, but there's literally dozens of studies that show this. Even the conservative libertarian think tank, the Cato Institute, agrees that studies using different methodologies have all generally reached the same conclusion, that immigrants to America are less crime-prone than natives. Still don't believe me? Let's have a look at the data. Mexican-born men aged 18 to 29 with no high school diploma have an incarceration rate of 2.8%. Native-born Americans in the same age group, 10.7%. That's almost 3 times higher. Generally speaking, if you're a foreigner legally in America, like me, you've chosen to invest in getting some sort of very expensive, very difficult to obtain visa, and there's no way you're going to risk getting that visa revoked. Migrants don't put in all that effort and time coming to America so they can commit crimes. I could do that back in Australia. We come here to work, or to be here with our families, or to start a new life, and we don't want to risk all that. We're probably the safest people to have around you. And if you're an illegal immigrant, it's even more important to stay under the radar by not committing crimes, because if you're caught, you get sent back home, back to the place that you just ran away from. So unless you came to America specifically to commit a crime, like as part of a drug trafficking group, you're going to try your absolute hardest to be on your best behavior at all times. So whilst yes, migrants aren't all angels, and sometimes a few do commit crimes, but generally speaking, we're way more angelic than the average US citizen. So let's stop being hypocritical about this. Given these facts, I challenge you, Donald Trump, and all of your xenophobic friends, if you really care about lowering crime, I challenge you to immediately invest in getting more migrants to the US, whether they're Muslims, Mexicans, Balkan Europeans like your wife. And instead of getting tough on foreigners, maybe start getting tough on drug smugglers and rapists in the American-born population. But what do you think? Should America increase or decrease its immigration rates? I'm really interested in your opinion on this, particularly from people who are actually Americans themselves. So let me know in the comments below what your thoughts are on migration.
Hi everyone, I'm Jade Lovell, resident science nerd on the Young Turks Network. You're watching ScIQ, and we know you don't want to miss an episode, so please click the subscribe button down below.